Hello everyone. First off, I want to thank all those who DM'd in to let me know how you enjoyed the very first video. You don't know how much that means to me, so the best I could do is to bring you to our very next episode with the recent news hitting is the Prime Location Public Housing Model, PLH in short. And the question of who does it affect, or does it really affect us? So with that, let's immediately dive into today's topic, episode number 2. So what exactly is this PLH about and who does it really affect? Firstly, it will only apply to, and I quote, only to future projects and not retrospectively to existing public housing. So those who just bought at like Pinnacle, Natural Loft, or already got their first appointment for like Queen's Ark and Telok Blangah Beacon, Ajay, dong kanchong. Heng ah, never affect you. But my thoughts and prayers go to those that were planning on applying for the November 2021 launch project, River Peaks in Central Rochor. Secondly, what are the new arrows that this law shoot? Government, honestly, not bad. Why is that so? Because for BTOs in these areas are naturally more expensive. Like the recent Telok Blangah Beacon 4-room, the indicative price range, boho says was 602,000 to 710,000. Those who bought, please do let me know the prices you paid if I am wrong. With this kind of pricing, applicants will get additional subsidies, which for now we don't know if it's just a different scheme of the EHG or will they come up with something called WSBSS. Wow, sibei sian subsidy. Besides this, the rest is all arrows and bullets already. So the first arrow, with this additional subsidy, when you sell, a percentage of your sale price will have to rebate back to HDB to cover a portion of the additional subsidies that you get. Let's recap here to our first level up video here in this link where EHG and proximity grants, you don't need to return to HDB when you sell. More info, you can click here to watch that video. So if you do sell higher, the percentage will eat more also. Remember, this is not a fixed sum, but a percentage. Second painful arrow is that the minimum occupancy period, which is known as MOP, would change from the usual 5 years to 10 years. So that means, if you take November 2021 launch, if now from application to build takes 5 years, and you have to stay 10 years, minimum, the buyer of this roadshow can only sell when it is 2036. Plus minus 1 or 2 years. Meaning I will be 45 years old when you come and find me to sell your place. I think still can. The third painful arrow, but a bit lesser, is for those who want to keep this one and rent out for higher rental yield, like those almost same as condo rental. Sad to say, you cannot rent out the entire flat and only allowed to rent by rooms. The last and final arrow is that for those who use parents' name to buy BTO like me, last time, 30% of the flats were reserved for your additional ballots. But now that percentage will be reduced. So now let's see, do these flats really make a windfall? And is it then worth it to go through almost 2 cycles of private property SSD? But before that, if you have been enjoying the series, show a bit of love and support me by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and also sharing this video so your brother here can bring a bit more content to you because my boss will see this Kaypoh series doing well lah. Okay, so for just Kaypoh's sake, very hard for me to give you exact figures, and also just a disclaimer, this is my primary school maths and calculations, so don't quote me on this. Okay, so from this table, we have Telok Blangah Park View, which is marketed at $860,000, with Fernvale River Walk at $550,000. The approximate purchase is about $500,000 for Telok Blangah and $251,000 for Fernvale River Walk. The profit for Telok Blangah is about $360,000, while Fernvale River Walk is at $299,000. So without taking into account accrued interest and mortgage interest rates, the difference of the somewhat windfall is only $61,000. Let's say maybe my figures are wrong and I round it up to $100,000. And remember, the more you loan, the higher the interest you are paying also. But for the sake of my poor math skills, we omit, okay? Give me chance. Would this 100k be really worth it for all the additional arrows that you will kena? Especially for that killer arrow of 10 years MOP. And remember, if you were to buy, let's say with the price equivalent to Telok Blangah Beacon, 700,000, and you sell for $1 million, the profit will only be $300,000, which is almost the same if you buy a heartland and you still have to minus the percentage that you have to give back to HDB for your WSBSS. Would it be worth it? The decision is really for you to make. But my thoughts are these. If you are really looking to upgrade to a private property and have a stepping stone, majority of the BTOs are okay. But if you do get those with the more popular locations, Kovan people, then that is a benefit for you too. Number 2, make sure that it is within a comfortable price bracket when you do exit also. Because really for $800,000-$900,000 resale, the MSR to afford it would become a combined income of at least $10,000. So that is something to think about. Number 3, which I think is the most important, is to get a BTO that you are comfortable with, because when you enter into your first home or property, you're at a prime age of starting a family, and all which has all the additional costs coming into, like having a kid, buying milk powder, sending to childcare and all that. My take is this: the $1 million HDBs are common nowadays, but not always, and not exactly all the projects in the central or prime estates area bring that amount of price. Like for example, those making the news are always like what? Natural Loft in Bishan and Pinnacle, and these are old projects, launched in 2008 and 2004 respectively. And Natural Loft, even being a DBSS, which would have also cost much more. I would say the government is helping to secure houses and is probably moving in the right direction. Because honestly, to even get a good ballot lot number at these locations are sometimes even harder than striking Toto. Just like the case of Kovan BTO recently. So that's all for the Kaypoh people here today. If you have enjoyed this series as usual, do remember to like, share and subscribe so that at least I can continue to bring you more content like this, okay? And I'll see you in the next episode of Kaypoh with Lyndon.